Hello, everybody. It is Grandpa Vince. I'm here with little Sami Zayn. And of course, I am here with the Italian stallion, Big Vito Lagrasso. This is That's Life. But obviously, this is going to be a special edition because the Royal Rumble aired tonight. Vito and myself just finished watching the Rumble. Now, you're getting this on the Realm Network on Monday. You're getting it Tuesday on Podcast One. Remember, you can get everything a day earlier, including castrating the marks. All you need to do is sign up to the Realm Network. It's less than $1 a week. You would be hearing this review on Monday and not Tuesday. Just go to russosbrand.com. Vito, my paisan, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Vince. I hope everybody out there is good. I hope everybody's in for another action-packed week here at Getting Color. Everything has been going good. The downloads have been in. The people listening are enjoying the show. And, of course, we have the naysayers, but you have to take the good with the bad. But on this show, it's more good than bad. Lead us through this thing, and I think we got some good stuff to talk about.
Well, Vito, here's the first thing like I'm walking away with, okay? Listen, bro, I don't know how you feel. You know, I'm just going to be honest, and I'm going to say the first thing that I'm walking away with. Okay, bro?
Okay.
Bro, I've been sitting here since 5 o'clock, all right? We are now approaching 9:30. Vito, I'll be honest with you, bro. To me, that was way too much of anything. I mean, bro, I don't care if I was sitting in front of a concert for 4 hours, or if I was sitting in front of a football game for 4 hours, or a baseball game for 4 hours. Bro, I just got to tell you, I mean, you got to really, 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 really love this stuff to literally be sitting in front of a computer screen or a TV for 4 freaking hours. Vito, listen, to me personally, that it was just way too much freaking wrestling, bro, 4 hours.
No, you're absolutely right. And, you know, for the people who don't know, you know, it is a lot to watch. You know what I mean? You can oversaturate something. You want to give people a good product, and they think they're giving more for, you know, more bang for the buck. But people, let me give you some insight. Imagine if you have to work and you're back there and you can't leave, and you're there since 1 o'clock. So you're talking from 1 o'clock to maybe possibly 12 midnight. You don't get out of the arena. Then you get back to the hotel, you try to get some sleep, try to catch a plane, or you have to hit the road to the next town. That's a long day for anybody. 12 hours is 12 hours no matter what you do.
Yeah, Vito, I don't know what happened to less is more, but like, bro, 4 hours of freaking wrestling, it's just a lot. And like I said, bro, literally, if I was at a concert, you know, I would be getting freaking antsy, you know, definitely, you know, after 3 hours. I don't care who was performing, unless the Beatles came back together. But bro, God, 4 hours is a long time, Vito.
No, it definitely is a little much. I mean, you remember like back in the day when we were doing the radio show and we would go through the bus trip, and we would take the bus,
yes,
and sit there all day, and it was like the same atmosphere. And you're sitting in the crowd for all that TV, and I forget how many different shows they were taping back then. Talking about 91, 92, 93 guys. And it was tough. It was tough for everybody involved. And I just think that if they have, you know, the one for the, you know, your dark match, 2 dark matches at most, and if you're starting it like at, say, 6:30 or you know, and just go from there, and 7 is the show. Maybe cut out, you know, time from the matches, make it a little shorter. Everybody has an angle of what they want, but, you know, you can't satisfy everybody. Everybody has an opinion. That's why we're here today. That's why we talk about it, the good and the bad.
And Vito, you know, it's not a wrestling thing with me. It's just I could not sit 4 hours in front of anything. So I want to make that clear. I'm not just saying it. Oh, because it was the WWE. I mean, bro, I can't
No, not at
imagine.
all.
Yeah, I can't imagine sitting in front of the same movie for 4 freaking. Like it doesn't, bro. I don't think I could watch Rihanna in concert for 4 hours.
Well, it's just like a baseball game, a good baseball game.
Right.
Now, I mean, everybody wants extra innings if it's a good game. You'll stay 1 or 2, but imagine if it's an 18-inning marathon.
Right.
Where you sit there.
Yeah,
You know,
no, exactly.
But I mean, even in basketball, guys, 1 overtime. But we talking 3 overtimes. You got lucky because we don't ever see 3 overtimes. Watching 7 quarters of basketball, and of course, you have your crappy games where you want to get out of there as soon as possible. So it's the good and bad, people. The good and bad.
All right, Vito, let's talk about this because we have a lot to talk about. The opening match with Zayn and Owens against AJ. What did you take away from this match, bro?
Well, first, before you start with that, I did watch the pre-show, like some of it. I just want to say Bobby Roode for making his debut as champion against Mojo Rawley. That was so dead. The people didn't give a damn. And it was a horrible match to start the show. I mean, it was terrible. Bobby Roode was not over. They were not as into him. They did not dig him. And it was a terrible, terrible match. If you're gonna put somebody out there with your champion for the first time, you better put him in there with somebody who's experienced to get him over. Yes, it's his first title defense. You got to make sure you take care of him, protect him. They put him in there with Mojo Rawley. He doesn't have the experience to carry a champion. They should have given him an experienced veteran to make sure that he did good. So getting to the AJ Styles match. Well, guys, I mean, it was a good back and forth match. The strategy they started out with, taking their time. Once it got into the nitty gritty of it, I mean, it was a good back and forth match. And I couldn't see them taking the title off of AJ Styles. We were all hoping for more with Shane or Daniel Bryan. We didn't get that. AJ Styles going over was strong for the champion. It propelled him to beat 2 guys at once. So now hopefully he's done with these 2 guys. Where they go with Zayn and Owens at this point, because now I think you just had to close. So for them to have Shane come back or Daniel Bryan come back or Sami Zayn or that, I think it's a done deal. I think it's boring. I think I'm glad it's done with. I'm just happy he won, kept the title. Now he just elevated the title to make something worthwhile. Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, Vito, a couple of things that I want to point out is, I think the finish was very anticlimactic. And, bro, here's another thing. Like, this is like this is just bad, bro. There was a spot there where like AJ did something to that looked like it hurt Owens's ankle. And before Owens could register it or anything, the announcers laid out this whole thing. Oh my God, Owens hurt his ankle. This can now even the score for AJ Styles. And they're putting over this ankle injury. Once Owens got up, he never sold the ankle again. So it's like, my God, guys, announce his talent. You guys got to get on the same freaking page. If you're going to put over an ankle injury to Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens isn't going to sell the injury, and it's not part of the match at all, you look like a bunch of idiots. I mean, my God,
you're right.
Part of your job is getting together with the talent and kind of talking through the matches, what they want you to highlight, what are they going to do so you know what to hit on. But you guys were all selling an ankle injury like Owens was shot, and the guy didn't even sell it for 10 freaking seconds.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? That's the big constant with the WWE announce team and what goes on the ring and what goes on behind the scenes. Nobody is on the same page. And you get 3 different stories instead. And plus what you're trying to figure out what's in front of you. And then when you make your assumption, you go on social media, you go on Twitter, everybody's a bunch of jumbo mumbo and everybody has something to say about your theories. But guys, it goes from where the head goes. If the head boss is not dictating to the commentators are not talking to the wrestlers are not talking to the crowd. You know what I mean? There's got to be a consistent storyline there. And, when you reverse it, the crowd, the wrestlers, the announcers, the creative team, everybody's got to be somewhat on the same page.
Yeah, and Vito, another thing, like, you hit on this, but I just want to hit on it again. This whole angle has been built around Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. For them not to even be a part of this, to not even be out there, for something not to happen. Again, that was just something that made absolutely zero sense to me. They've all been playing, can you top this? Can you top this? Can you top this? Can you top this? And okay, now the match comes, the handicap match comes, and we're just going to let them, have a match, and there's going to be no involvement or no explanation on our part or anything. Again, bro, as a writer, that is just a huge hole for me, how this was the whole story, but neither one of them were a part of it.
You're absolutely 100% right, because Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan were the main participants in the angle, and it went for a back and forth, and you thought there was going to be a heel turn. You didn't know what was going to happen. You had friction with the office. You had friction with the wrestlers. And then for half of the story not to show up, I thought it was a bad ending to a story with no climax. And a point that was made, right? You said, this angle that they were doing to be co-champions, and people were saying, I wish Jericho and Owens would have won the heavyweight title. Jericho didn't need the title to get over, and Jericho was a champion on his own. And for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to need this title, they did need it to get over as whatever they were doing. But they're trying to copy the Jericho angle. And with this now, I hope that they both wind up in a feud and go their separate ways and then make something else. Because Sami Zayn doesn't have without a partner. He's a tag team wrestler. He needs somebody with him. Kevin Owens can pretty much hold his own. But I hope they split and go in a different direction and just get away from each other. I'm sure they're going to have a feud. They're going to have another good match where they go back and forth because they wrestled each other so many times. It'll be a good match. And then let's end it and go separate ways.
Yeah. All right, Vito, I don't think there's too much to talk about with Benjamin and Gable against Usos, except, again, bro, just very, very, very anticlimactic.
No, Vince, I got to tell you something. Now, I know we talk about what the ramifications are when you do something against the WWE, and they're under scrutiny right now for their behavior policy and how you carry yourselves as a professional. I honestly thought that they were going to drop the straps tonight because they had run a long program with these two guys, and they've been pushing Gable as a monster with Shelton Benjamin. With that said, when the first, fall came for the Usos, I says, okay, these guys are going to pull it out. The second fall, it seemed like it missed, and it was a mistake or somebody didn't kick out. It just had no meaning, no ending. It was flat. I think everybody was surprised in the building, and I think the fans walked away shortchanged because they didn't get the 3 falls out of it. And I thought it was a horrible ending. That's not the way it should have ended. There was no highlight, no suspense, no drama. It was a good opening fall, but that second one to come when they roll up and they get out of there, I thought that was big BS. They should have been a title change tonight.
Unless, bro, they come back, that's why I always give them the benefit of the doubt, unless they come back on SmackDown and do exactly that.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, bro, Royal Rumble. Guys, Royal Rumble. What's your thoughts?
Guys, Royal Rumble. It wasn't horrible. They had some good entries. Rey Mysterio making an appearance. I thought they could have did more with the Hurricane. I think that they could have did more with some of the more individuals. I think it was a little long and what was going on in the ring. I saw some guys missing a lot of stuff because some guys didn't know how to handle the Battle Royal scenario. I think Nakamura winning was a change of pace. I honestly thought Orton was going to win because he was trying to change his look with the hair, RKOs out of nowhere. And then with Cena being in there, I just thought it was, okay, Cena's there to put the guys over. And I got to point this out. When you enter the Royal Rumble, guys, okay, like I'm going to pinpoint somebody. Aiden English. He came in there. Him and Rusev are over. I don't know why they don't put Rusev over. The guy's over. He's got the biggest pop going. He's got the greatest gimmick going right now. And again, they're not even utilizing him. Aiden English came in, and people were looking to feed him, notably John Cena. Aiden English didn't even give Cena a second look. And Cena was feeding the guys and bumping for the guys, and nobody was taking advantage of the fact that the veterans and the guys in there were selling for the new guys to come in to put them over. And when you go in there and you just peel off into a corner instead of going into a Royal Rumble. I'll give you a perfect example, people. Vince, I think you remember the Battle Royal in WCW with the Macho Man making the surprise return. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, guys, and this was a backstage joke point to tell them this. You had Hogan, you had Sting, you had DDP, you had Flair, you had Luger, you had every big name in there, right? So I go in the back and I say, guys, we're all in the Battle Royal tonight. This is great. So they all start laughing, because I was very likable in WCW. I says, I'm going to come in there. I'm going to punch all of you in the face. I'm going to take the tape, send it to Vince. I'm going to get a job. Well, the laughter that I got from all that was great. When you watch that Royal Rumble, guys, right, that Battle Royal, I went and punched everybody in the face, and they were like, you really did do this. I hit Hogan, I hit DDP, I hit Flair, I hit them all, right? And then the biggest rib of all was the Macho Man waited till I was eliminated until he came in, because as soon as I was eliminated, here comes the Macho Man. So the Macho Man feared me because he seen me knocking people. He didn't want to get on my highlight reel where I was cracking people to send it to Vince just in case if anything happened. So guys, when you're in a Royal Rumble, take advantage of who's in there. Go in there, hit one, hit two, hit three, go to everybody, spin somebody around, knock them out. The more offense you get, the more the announcers have to talk about, and the more they put you over. Go ahead, Vince.
Vito, I got to say this, and here's where I get myself in trouble. I took off my glasses, bro. Okay.
All right, go ahead. I know you got something good.
Vito, I'm a Long Island boy. You're a Staten Island boy. Okay, bro? We know Philly. We know Philly well. Okay, bro? Bro, I swear to God, can I tell you something? I am really starting to ask myself this question, and more so after this show. I am starting to ask myself this question when I'm looking at the crowd, I'm listening to the crowd, I'm seeing the way this entire show is booked. Vito, do the marks know that this is a work? Or like, do they actually believe that this shit is real? Bro, I honestly don't know anymore. I'm looking at the crowd. I'm looking at the people in attendance. I'm watching their reactions. I'm seeing who the WWE is putting over. And I'm saying myself, have the marks actually convinced themselves that these fights and these outcomes are real? Because, bro, let me tell you something. The WWE is 1,000% booking for the marks. They are 1,000% booking for people they already have. Okay, bro, you put Nakamura over and you put Asuka over. There isn't one casual fan that's going to give a crap. The internet and the marks and the hardcores want to see Nakamura and AJ. That's not going to increase your audience. The casual wrestling audience does not care about a fake fight. We don't care about Nakamura and AJ. And now, bro, do they think with Asuka and Ronda Rousey, a former MMA fight, and the strong style, like, do they convinced themselves that like these two women are actually going to have a shoot fight? I mean, bro, has the entire industry lost their freaking minds? Bro, they are not going to add one new freaking fan. They're catering to an audience that is built in, that will always be there, that isn't going anywhere. They are not going to get new people to watch this show. Bro, I don't care what anybody says. Forget freaking wrestling. I just hit Sami Zayn. Forget wrestling in any freaking business. The more eyeballs you have, the more money you're going to make, period, bro. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with wrestling. It has to do with business. You don't go after an audience you already freaking have. That was our philosophy during the Attitude Era. We knew we had the marks. We knew guys like Meltzer and Keller were going to complain every Tuesday morning and be sitting right back in front of their televisions on Monday night. So we went after the people that weren't watching wrestling. That's who we went after. Casual people are going to tune in to watch Nakamura and Asuka. Are you out of your freaking minds? I swear to God, bro, they've convinced themselves that this is now a real sport.
I think it's the allure effect that they're trying to get. And I think they're trying people, and for the biggest show on the planet, and you just want to do, like I said, guys, ECW was a cult following, right? And we had a good cult following. The NXT is a cult following. And when you follow two guys from the independents like Nakamura and AJ Styles, not that AJ Styles isn't a credible WWE wrestler, but they're fused from Japan, and you bring it to the WWE because of the cult following of that feud. That's what they're trying to get. And I think they're missing on the big picture. Vince, I know what you're saying. You're trying to get the people there, but I think they're trying to book for that allure and for that cult following, because remember, the fans are not there like we used to have, where it was 5 million, 4 million. You're talking 2 and 3 million, sometimes less than 2 million. So you're trying to keep what you have. And I think it's a fight, because during Monday Night Football, hands down, everybody's watching football. If the World Series is on, you're watching the World Series. If the basketball's on, you're watching. Now, if there's a good Super Bowl going on, the people were going to turn it on. If the UFC was on,
Vito, not the marks, not the marks. The marks are going to watch wrestling if Monday Night Football's on. The marks are going to watch wrestling if the NBA playoffs are on. The marks are going to watch wrestling if the World Series is on. The marks are not going anywhere, bro. They've been there from the beginning of time.
No, they are. You're right, but they're trying to please and get the cult following that was following that feud, because they think they're going to get more successful in a different company. They've tried every different thing on the planet, and they've tried every different angle to get people in. And like I told you, and guys, I'm going to say this because Vince and I had a conversation. I'm going to say it here. Do you really, really, truly want to book Monday Night Raw and SmackDown? And Vince and I spoke about this, and I said, Vince, I said, you know how what would turn wrestling upside down is if you went back to Monday Night Raw. Eric Bischoff was in charge of SmackDown. Now you're going head to head. Now you have something to watch, because who would Bischoff bring in? Hogan, the NWO. Who would Vince Russo bring in? Edge and Christian, Val Venus, The Rock. So now you have a battle. And are you going to go watch that? And will people watch it because they know that the old wrestlers are there and the old writers are there and they're all going to go? Yeah, it's going to get your interest. And if you were smart and you're working in the office, people, what better angle that you haven't done and a rivalry that has not been used? And you're hearing it first on Getting Color is a Vince Russo on Raw, Eric Bischoff on SmackDown rivalry where they get together and put their guys against each other in actual pay-per-views. That's where you're going to draw the money. Everything else that we're talking about is naysay, and we can sit here and argue all day. But that's the way to go. If you really want to turn wrestling upside down, and the best way to utilize Triple H and Stephanie, not to say that they're not doing a good job or they're not good bosses, but I think they would be utilized best and the pressure would be off them if they were used as characters on the show instead of trying to be bosses, because that's when they were best utilized and most interesting to watch. If everybody's following what I'm saying, get the people where they were most strongest and get the people where they have the best qualities. Listening to Stephanie McMahon on the announce team tonight was terrible. Vince McMahon was a great announcer, and you could listen to him all day because he was a great announcer. And if you really talk about great announcers and great people who know what they're doing behind the mic, you saw the difference in Stephanie being by there and, Vince McMahon being by there. It's apples and oranges, guys. And I think that's what the people are missing, and that's what wrestling's missing, Vince. Just the realism in it.
Well, the real.
And I know you don't.
The realism, the realism, bro. That's really what they're missing, and we'll point out where they're going completely in the other direction in a second. And Vito, I want to say this, like again, bro. Listen, I know it's Philly, and I know it's the East Coast, but can I tell you, bro, when freaking when Reigns and Cena are in the ring, and a bunch of grown-ass adults are chanting, "You both suck," bro, that's so freaking embarrassing, man. I swear to God, like I'm literally embarrassed for you people that, here are two guys that, I mean, if you looked at the freaking dollars and cents of the company, they've probably made more money for that company than anybody else. John Cena is a bona fide movie star. John Cena carried that company on his back for God knows how many years. Both of them are following company orders. They don't write the show. They don't script the show. They're still, at this point in their careers, putting other people over, busting their ass in the ring, and for a bunch of marks to chant "You both," so that's so freaking embarrassing to me, bro. You sound like those NXT freaking marks, bro. It's embarrassing. If you're an adult, you should freaking be embarrassed. That's freaking embarrassing.
No, it kind of is, because you got the two most successful guys who've been making the most money for the company. And if that's the best you guys can do is, you both suck. I mean, and like I said, Vince, it's that cult mentality where you have cult chants and cult followings or whatever. Yeah, you want to know what was the best thing of Cena did in the Rumble? Where you saw that little bit of viciousness when he was putting the boots, when him and Reigns were putting the boots to Nakamura or somebody else in there. When you saw that heel turn that could possibly draw money from Cena turning heel, when he was actually doing it, and he had that nasty in his face. Yeah, because it's just like Hulk Hogan. Nobody thought Hulk Hogan would turn heel. When he did, he had another 3-year run.
Well, Vito, not for anything else. They're going to get all their freaking marks to watch AJ and Nakamura have a great fake wrestling match. Whoop-de freaking do. I don't give one shit about that match. Bro, if they were fighting for real, I might be interested. It's fake, guys. It's freaking fake. And even though I'm convinced half of you have convince yourself that this is a shoot, it's fake. So I have no interest in watching a great choreographed fight. What they could have done, Vito, was they could have left Reigns they could have had Reigns, Balor, and freaking Nakamura. If Reigns would have eliminated both of the freaking internet darlings, do you know what kind of a freaking heel you could have made Roman Reigns? And you would have been off to the races. Roman Reigns is going to draw more people and make more money in his WWE career than Nakamura ever will. But in an effort to appease the marks, You blew an opportunity to have Reigns eliminate the two Mark Darlings and then go off to the races with the guy being a full-fledged heel.
Now, I mean, now does, for everybody who's believing this and everybody who's like Vince says is a mark and they're going to sit there and do this. Now, I got a question for all of the internet, and I would like you to answer this question on Twitter. Does Roman Reigns lose the rights to his yard because he got eliminated from the Royal Rumble? That's his ring. That's his yard. Nobody throws him out. He beat The Undertaker. He took the rights to it. So now because he lost in his playpen, does he lose the right? Is Nakamura the new king of the ring, and does he own Reigns' yard? That is a good question for the internet.
Bro, they're not going anywhere with it. They're gonna build a great six-star fake match between Nakamura and AJ Styles. Whoop de freaking do, bro. Let's move on to Jordan and Rollins against Cesaro and Sheamus. Any comments on this, bro?
I said they were going to get the titles back. I knew there was going to be some kind of BS. The concussion thing, where he hit his head and he didn't know where he was. I just think the whole storyline from the get-go is horrible. You saw the heel turn in the men's battle royal with Reigns and Rollins. I'm hoping Rollins turns heel and really, cashes Jordan's clock in, and let's get done with this kid. He's horrible. I don't want to see him no more. I can't take him. It's terrible.
Any reason why Rollins, Cesaro, and Sheamus would be in the Royal Rumble and not Jason Jordan?
He didn't ask his dad's permission.
I guess. Okay, bro. What about the Brock Kane Strowman gimmick?
Now, guys, too many guys, too many moving parts. Braun Strowman is inexperienced, doesn't know how to feed, and Braun Strowman is a rough and tough guy. And when you saw that knee to Brock Lesnar's face, I said, wow, he ate it. And when Brock got up and he punched him square in the jaw and he called him, you stupid son of a bitch, it was, you knew it got real. I thought Brock was going to lose his mind, and I thought he was going to do what he did to Randy Orton. It was going to be open city. We already said Kane was there to take the pin. I thought it was just too much going on, too many big spots for big men instead of a hard-hitting match like it should have been. And then the tables and then the chairs and then the thing. It was what it was. It was not the greatest pay-per-view championship match. And he kept Strowman up like they were supposed to. But I don't see Strowman and Brock mixing it up. And I could tell you there's going to be a problem the next time these two tangle, because I think Brock has got fed up. And you could tell by Heyman on the outside that he knows when Brock's temper is going to go, like everybody else. And I think that his temper is going to go. And the one thing I've been saying is that Brock has not been in shape. He definitely was not in shape for this thing. I would like to see Brock Lesnar. I'm a Brock Lesnar guy. When he's in shape and he's looking like a machine, I am impressed to hell. And I'm not bashing the guy. Maybe he doesn't feel like training. Maybe he's taking off, whatever. But Brock, you got to represent yourself in the company, and you got to look more in shape than what you're coming. You're coming, you're doing your thing, you're going home. I would like to see you get in real better shape if you're the champion of the company, because you're the face. You're the man, you're the beast. And you know what? Your agility, your quickness, your strength, maybe it's not as good as it was. I notice it, and I see it. I see the difficulty you have. I notice. I don't know if anybody else does. I'd like to see Brock Lesnar get back in real good gym wrestling shape. Too much. And I think when next time we see Brock and Braun, it's going to go down the way these guys are going to throw blows.
Yeah, and that's just very predictable, bro. Kane was in the match to do the job and keep Lesnar and Strowman alive. I think we all knew that going in. Okay, bro, let me hear your thoughts on this women's Royal Rumble.
I thought it was great. I thought for Women's Royal Rumble, not everything was perfect in the ring. There was some missed stuff. Overall, they went and they put in the time and they brought in all the right people and put them in the right spots in the match. I thought it was interesting throughout. There was no dull spots. You had all the greats in there. And for the first time for a Women's Royal Rumble, I thought it was very well done. It's a good start. I thought Stephanie McMahon's commentary was very lax. None of the commentators interacted with Stephanie and asked her any questions because I think they were afraid because she was sitting there to include her in conversation. And that's where you missed on some of this commentary. But, I mean, overall, maybe the Oscar winning wasn't the greatest thing, the Nia Jax thing. The one thing about the Royal Rumble, guys, is when the people are selling and they got there and they oversell, and they're laying there for so long, and you're like, all right, when are you going to get up? You only took a couple shots. That's my beef with it, because you should be in the ring fighting. But overall, I think it was a good Royal Rumble. I think Ronda Rousey coming in as a surprise was definitely good. I didn't catch the ending as strongly as maybe other people or what they had written for it to mean, because like after the Men's Royal Rumble, they asked Nakamura who you want to face, and I think everybody was waiting for Stephanie to get up and say, okay, who do you want to face? And I think if Stephanie was in the ring to end the show and then introduce Ronda Rousey, I think it would have been more of a better TV production and a better send-off for the show instead of everybody just sitting there looking with a dark stare. Stephanie in the ring, ask questions, congratulate the winner. Who do you want to face? And then that's when Rousey's music hits. Rousey comes down, say, I'm going to WrestleMania. And now you have a choice. It's either going to be Charlotte or it's going to be Alexa Bliss. And Rousey's going to get the leftover.
It's going to be Oscar, bro, because the marks are going to think they're going to get a real shoot fight. So it's going to be Oscar against Ronda Rousey because it's going to be a real shoot fight. Bro, let me tell you something. First of all, I did not think this match was going to go off well. I thought the girls were going to be exposed in this match. But two things happened that prevented that from happening. Number one, there were 11 surprise entries in this match. I didn't expect there to be that many. Quite frankly, bro, I didn't know how many of the former WWE girls could still go. But there were 11 surprises, and they placed them out nicely throughout this match that kept the flow going. The girls, that they chose, could still go. So I did not expect there to be 11 girls, but there was. Number two, they protected the girls a lot. I mean, bro, there were times where you could tell that Sasha and Becky were blown sky high, but, with them being on the outside and taking a breather, during certain points, I think who did Nia Jax have the face off with? Beth Phoenix.
Right.
They gave the girls throughout the match enough of a breather, which was very smart and laid out nicely. So I give credit to whoever laid out the match. They protected these girls. They gave them spots to rest, spots to gather themselves. The use of 11 former stars, really, really added to the match. So I think they did a good job. Everybody was questioning the structure of which match went where on this pay-per-view. Obviously, they put the women last because of the Ronda Rousey thing. Now, first of all, Stephanie McMahon should be ashamed of herself for freaking putting China over. Okay? Ashamed of herself.
Yeah,
I was China's BFF. Me and China were very close, okay? I know what happened there between China, Stephanie, and Hunter. And let me tell you something. When it comes to China, Stephanie McMahon should just keep her mouth shut. If Michael Cole or somebody else wants to put over China, great. put over China. But to come out of freaking Stephanie's mouth when I know what went down, I know the freaking scenario. I mean, I couldn't help but to Twitter out that freaking China is rolling over in her grave right now. Please do me a favor. Keep China out of the mouth of Stephanie McMahon, and there will be no issues. You want to put China over, even though it's much too late. Great, bro. Put China over. If that makes you feel good, putting her over, because when she was alive, you wouldn't even take a phone call from her, then put her over all you want. But for Stephanie to put her over, that takes it to a whole other level. Now, here's another thing, Vito. You're talking about, oh, they should do reality TV. Bro, when freaking Michael Cole is making the statement that Stephanie has no idea what Ronda Rousey is doing here. Meanwhile, bro, there's an entrance for Ronda Rousey. There's graphics for Ronda Rousey. There's music for Ronda Rousey. Everybody knows Ronda Rousey is there, but Stephanie McMahon. Do they not freaking still understand how freaking stupid they make themselves look? Stephanie could have been on it. It could have been part of the story. It could have went down like you said somehow or another. But the fact that she had merch, she had graphics, she had music, everyone knew Ronda Rousey was going to be there, but Stephanie McMahon. That's where they're freaking imbeciles, bro. That's where they're a bunch of freaking morons. Because if I'm sitting there at a creative meeting, I'm going to say exactly that. Wait a minute. Ronda Rousey's got merch. She's got graphics. She's got music. She's got an intro. And Stephanie McMahon, who's in charge, doesn't know that Ronda Rousey said, do you know how freaking stupid? That's not a matter, bro, of suspending disbelief. That's unfreaking believable, and it's freaking stupid. Think things through, guys. And like I said, bro, with all due respect, the fact that they put over a Japanese wrestler, okay, in both matches has nothing to do with them being Japanese, bro. They could have been black. They could have been Mexican. They could have been pink, yellow, or blue. But by putting over two Japanese wrestlers, you're putting over strong style wrestling. That's what you're putting over. So you're going to get the strong style match between AJ and Nakamura, and you're going to get a strong style match between Ronda Rousey and Asuka. And quite frankly, the only people that care about this are the people already watching. Vito, not for anything, with all due respect, does everybody understand that Ronda Rousey was a beast and she was undefeated and nobody could touch her and she was a freaking killer? Because this is how every casual wrestling fan's going to look at it. Not a mark that thinks that Asuka and Ronda Rousey are going to have a shoot fight. Here's how every casual wrestling fan looks at it. Freaking Ronda Rousey was an animal, a machine, a cyborg unit. She destroyed women. Her last two UFC fights, she got her freaking clock cleaned. Oh, so now I'm going to go into that fake wrestling because my career's over in UFC. That's how every freaking casual wrestling fan is going to look at it. But it's still it boggles my mind that these guys are booking for the Meltzers and the Kellers and the freaking Marks and the audience that is already there, bro. They're freaking booking for not one of the Rumbles, both freaking Rumbles. That just tells me, bro, you guys are never ever going to increase your numbers. They're going to be exactly where they are. And if you're happy doing 2 million people on Monday nights, I would have thought that was shit. Okay, bro. If it was during the Attitude Era and we were drawing 2 million people, I would have told Vince McMahon to fire me. I would have said, Vince, obviously I'm not doing my job because I don't know how to get us new viewers and I can't increase your television audience. So fire me. If you guys are satisfied with the 2 million viewers, then so be it, bro. You're going to have freaking 2 million viewers from now till freaking 2025.
No, you're right. And you want to know what? They could have been real creative tonight. They have the Money in the Bank with Carmella that they still haven't used yet. And I said that I thought Carmella was the sleeper to win. But why wouldn't you bring Carmella in the end of the show when Rousey, before Rousey comes in, you have Alexa Bliss, you have Charlotte, you have Asuka, right? Then here comes Carmella walking down the aisle with her thing, and she's looking at them. And then you bring Rousey in, because now you have some kind of storyline, because whoever gets the title, somebody's going to get beat with that case. And they have done nothing to justify her having that case, and it's just sitting there. And that's something that's like, it's like irritating me, because like, they don't make her look like a contender. They don't make her look like a champion. They just make her carry the case. They're not using her to her full potential. You know?
Talking about full potential, Vito. And here's another thing, just here, WWE. Let me make a little mark of the timing of when I'm going to say this, because it's another reason to shit on me. You want to know like what a freaking egomaniac Stephanie McMahon is, and it's not part of her freaking character. She's a freaking egomaniac. Can somebody explain to me why Alexa Bliss and Charlotte weren't on color instead of her?
Yeah, I mean, that is true. They should have had the champions commentating.
They're the champions commentating. Okay, they're both the champions. They're both good at what they do. You would have got a little back and forth. They would have been able to call the wrestling better. But yet Stephanie McMahon's got to be out there, so at the end she can act oblivious to who let Ronda Rousey in the building.
No, like I said, Vince, if she would have gotten the ring at the end, the girls would have been on commentary. They could have ended that show. They could have blew the women's revolution. They could have put it up to another level instead of the level that it ended at tonight. Yeah, it could have really stole the show.
But I don't want to take away from any of those girls in that Rumble. You were put in a main event spot for the first time. You did a good job. They protected the girls in the booking. The use of all those former stars was very, very well done. So much, 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 much better than I anticipated. But, bro, I'm going to go back to, Vito, what I said at the very beginning of this show, and it's got nothing to do with wrestling. 4 hours of anything is just way too much for me, bro. Way too much.
No, it is. I mean, it should be like a 2.5 hour pay-per-view at most. And, I think if you try to use that time and try to, Vince, you know what it is too? They have a lot of things going on with it not going anywhere. It's like they have a lot of open ends, and there's nothing fueling to an avenue or a street where you're following a story where it's going to go.
Because, bro, all the emphasis is on the fake freaking fight, bro. That's what every freaking story is, the fake fight. I'm mad at you. You're mad at me. I mean, bro, again, I never thought I would see the day when the WWE and Vince McMahon would cater to the freaking marks. Bro, the fact that you had 2 NXT guys in the Royal Rumble, I had no idea who those guys were. And you know what, bro? With all due respect, they look like regular freaking guys to me. There was nothing special about their entrances or their ring attire or their look or their body. They look like 2 guys to me that could have came off a freaking indie show. And I'm going to pop and I'm going to get all excited because, they're NXT guys. I don't even know who the frig they are, nor do I care who they are.
And look who's the guy who does look like a champion and got lost in the shuffle was Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
Jinder
Jinder
Mahal.
Mahal. You like you said, bro. Rude, not in the. Why was Rude and freaking Jason Jordan not in the Rumble instead of those two NXT? Because they're catering to the marks in freaking Philadelphia. So you're gonna leave Rude a champion, and bro, what the hell was that with Ziggler? That's how you bring Dolph Ziggler back? What was
was
that?
horrible.
I mean, what was that?
I just don't think they think things through, Vince. They don't have a spot for a guy, and Ziggler could have been a spot filler on the thing, and just to put another guy in there. It's the same thing like we talked about with Baron Corbin, right? We talked about what he did. We spoke up for the concussion thing, and he got the ramifications and the Twitter and all that. And for a guy who was going to be skyrocketing to go do something, he has taken the downward spiral. When he was eliminated, okay, he knocked a few guys out, to make it look more realistic. Derailed, and he's out of his zone, all because he had a voice and he spoke. Rusev, for whatever he did, the guy's still getting buried, and he's still not, and he's the most real guy there. Throwing Lana in the Royal Rumble, and everybody knows she can't wrestle. Make the heel turn with Aiden English. Lana come make the save. Rusev Day, and Lana and Rusev can go back together, and that guy could put a rocket on him, and he could be something good. But they buried the guys who could do it. They pushed the guys who can't, and that's the mix-up. Because Jinder Mahal was world champion, and now he's a run-of-the-mill mid-card again.
Not only that, who, bro, if I'm looking at that freaking roster, okay, bro, if I'm looking at that freaking roster, and I even felt it when he freaking came out, bro, Vito, when you're writing this stuff, you kind of get a feeling when it's somebody's time. You know what I mean? We knew when Austin was coming into his own. When The Rock's coming into his own. When it's somebody's freaking time, Bro, they completely wasted The Miz in that freaking Royal Rumble. Why wasn't The Miz one of those last guys? Bro, if it were me, that's the freaking guy I would have put over. That's the guy I would have put over, because Miz is mainstream. Okay, Miz can appeal on a mainstream level, not freaking Nakamura, bro. Miz should not be a supporting freaking actor. Somebody needs to tell me, what is Miz lacking that is preventing him from being the guy?
And this goes from behind the scenes. It's a dislike for people that are behind stage, and if you don't have the blessing of, Moses or Jesus Christ and all the apostles, you ain't going nowhere, because there's always one or two guys that are holding your tights back that won't let you be. Now, the Miz has main evented WrestleMania. The Miz has been a great champion. The Miz has been doing movies. The Miz has been doing this and that. But like you said, he's stuck in that one echelon, and they won't let him be that. And it's unbelievable what they do. And that's the guy who could speak, he could talk, he could wrestle, he could hustle. He's got an entourage, he's got a following. He can go anywhere, and he's a star. And they keep him in the background.
I don't understand that. But Vito, listen, we're not going to understand a lot of things that they do. But I will guarantee you this. With Nakamura and Asuka, the audience is not going to grow. It's that simple. And you know what, bro? Maybe they don't care. That's not how I was taught. My contract at WCW depended on ratings. Vince, you are here to get people to watch the show. We don't care what you do. You got to get as many people to watch the show as possible. Freaking Disco Inferno told me in my first conversation with him, bro, you've got a 3-hour block on Monday nights. It doesn't matter that you're wrestling. You use that 3 hours to get as many people as you possibly can to watch your show.
You're right. Now, the thing with Asuka, right now, she's still undefeated. Do you keep her undefeated until she gets to WrestleMania and then keep it undefeated. You got to beat her before WrestleMania. And I think that's what people don't understand. She's going to get beat. She can't stay undefeated the whole time. She is going to lose. I think she needs to lose sooner than later just to break that mystique, because you can't. She's not the Tatanka of the 90s. She's not the Goldberg of the 2000s. It's not realistic. You gotta beat her. Who are you gonna beat her with? She's had a tussle with everybody in the division already. So where do you go? She's got to get a loss. And that's when everybody's gonna say, "But you're going to WrestleMania. You have to lose to make her real and believable."
Yeah. All right, Vito, what's going on at the Big Vito brand over there?
Well, the Big Vito brand is doing. We have our YouTube that's doing very well. We appreciate all the people who are coming and subscribing and taking a look at our videos. Twitter is really doing well. We're getting some more followers. Everybody's interacting with the brand. Big Vito brand, the Vince Russo brand. Collar and Elbow, the t-shirts, and you have ProWrestlingTees.com/the Big Vito brand. Follow us on Facebook. We're always doing something there. We have our live videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have Getting Color, which has been doing very, very well. We've been keeping up the ratings. And thank you, everybody, for listening and downloading, because you guys are making this possible. And it's really good that everybody's interacting with us. Teen Mom Show with Vince and Miss Noel is doing phenomenal stuff. And if you don't watch Teen Mom, everybody go watch Teen Mom. I think you're going to like it, and you're going to like the show that's on Podcast One, Spilling Tea with Teen Mom, or whatever it is, Vince. I still don't get it. But, everybody, we got a lot of things happening at the brand. We got 7 shows, 7 days a week. We got a lot of good things happening. There's a lot of good competition for ratings here at the brand. The Big Vito brand has 2 shows with you guys. And, I'm doing some other podcasts with members of the group. It's a good team here. Everybody enjoys everybody. And I just think that bigger things are going to happen for the brand, and everybody's doing a good job.
Yeah. All right, everybody, there you have it. Tomorrow, I'm coming back with That's Life. And remember, if you're listening to this on Podcast One, you could have got it a day early. You could have got it a day after the Royal Rumble. Just go to russosbrand.com. You also get Castrating the Marks. That's exclusive on the Realm Network. Very affordable to you at less than $1 a week, and you can opt out at any time. That's it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you to Big Vito. We will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.